Hello, everybody. I know everybody's over at Ann's right now, and that's fine. I just figured I'd go ahead and start at my regular time, and it's okay. I wanted to come on and kind of give you some ideas if you want to do the project with Kaylee at Home Tea Knits. I have put a link to her new channel and the video for this kind of craft along or make along or whatever you want to call it. So she does have a hashtag, and the hashtag is on this video. uh, and if you want to play, you can. Everybody's invited, so if you're an art artist, you can use your scraps from that. If you're a crocheter or a knitter, you can use your scraps from that. And let's see, if you are a paper artist, you can use your paper scraps. If you're a fabric artist, you can use your scraps from that. So it's open to everybody, she says. We're just focusing on using our scraps up. So I'm just going to go through a few things. I've got paper scraps. I've got some yarn scraps. I've got some fabric scraps and paper scraps. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with paper scraps. And she wants you to really focus on the little pieces that you have left over. So I'm going to just show you. This is kind of my envelope where I throw the really small stuff, that's left over and odd shaped and very random. And anybody that's been on my channel for a while knows that I love to use these. Either you can use them to make postcards, do backgrounds out of just the painted papers or old tissue. So just keep your little bits in a little, I've got mine in this zippered envelope, but if you have just old paper envelope, there you go. So I'm going to just show you some cards that I've made. This is all cards I've made here. And I do have them in here by birthday, Christmas, encouragement. So I'm just going to pull the encouragement cards out and show you what I've made. Now, these are made from scraps, and we're just going to go through them. This is just a punched out butterfly here. And that right there is a way you can get ephemera quickly from your scraps. Just go through your paper punches and punch out a bunch of different shapes. Butterflies are awesome because they're great additions to any card. So, or if you have a Dollar Tree near you, I'm not sure why this one doesn't have an envelope. If you have a dollar store near you, like Dollar Tree, they have these little stickers that are dimensional. They're great. And these are nothing but leftover offcuts from a larger project. And these were from a paper pad that had the little, messages or whatever on there. And I used a bit of washi. So I'm just going to go through these. I think this was actually used the paper pad up. Now, this one's definitely been made from offcuts from a Dirty Dozen game, a prompt game that I used to do all the time that I haven't done in a while. Maybe we should do that sometime. But these were offcuts from where we did a great big piece of paper and then we cut it into postcards and artist trading cards. So, and then that was just another one of those little messages from the paper pad I was using at the time. This was just a quick card using a couple of the papers. That one's another one. Now, this one was made with crayons. You color your background. Just color it, scribble color it in all the different colors that you can find. And then I just coated it with black paint and let it dry. And then I took like a bent out paper clip and I just scratched out "You're awesome." And then I put clear coat over it so it can't be scratched again and sprinkled glitter into it. And that's how I made that card. So if you've got little ones and they have crayons, you can create a background. Let them scribble all over the paper till the paper is totally covered. And then paint the whole thing black. And then you can cut it into the size you need for your card. And then let them scratch a design in it, and you've got a card front. This is another where we did a background, and then I decided to make cards out of it. These were just scrap papers that I stamped messages on and then punched them out with a circle punch. And I did a couple like that one. And this does have a clear coat. That's why it's shiny. And I added, I think it was the clear that had the glitter in it. These were made with leftover bits from a card package, I think, or something. But most of my cards are made with remnants of other projects. So these are just card ideas. Like this is all made with different papers. So I've got painty papers on here. Looks like I've got a bit of scrapbook paper, some odd ephemera that didn't really match anything that I had. So I just kind of pulled things together. I think this was actually part of our Bits and Bobs binder projects. And I'll do Bits and Bobs another day, and we'll play and make some cards again. But these are all cards you can make from your scraps. Now, if you need ideas on layouts, just look up card sketches and you will find so many to use. This tag actually somebody made and sent to me, and I just used it as my message on this card, and I left the ribbon intact and everything. Again, this is just random bits of scrapbook paper. This was definitely made with a bit of scrap. This was off an envelope somebody else had made me. And this looks like a background that we did together, or maybe it's a painty paper, and then I put just, those are made with glitter glue. So if you've got glitter glue that's about to dry up, I would suggest make some cards and then just use it. Hi, Joyce. I didn't think anybody was going to join me today, but that's okay. I'm glad you're here. This was just a piece of painty paper, and I just used it just as it is. And then these are Tim Holtz tiny messages or whatever. More painty papers that we did together, and then I stenciled. These were actually gel prints from my gel plate. So I'm just going to just bring these over so you can just see them real quick. And then we'll move on to something else. But you don't have to do, cards. The whole reason I made a ton of cards, hi Shannon, is my youngest sister gave me pre-made cards. So that's why I have these. Some of this stuff is like this circle is from when you get those free cards in the mail from like the veterans, and they always put a little seal in. So I use the little seals as a little accent on my cards. This is a horse out of a magazine. So you can use your magazines to create your cards. The purple flower here and here is actually a gift wrap paper in the background and with a painty paper on top of it. So don't be afraid to mix your painty papers with your scrapbook papers and that kind of thing. Again, this is just painty paper here. This one I paired it with a fairy that I think somebody gave me this because I don't have this die. And then I just took that glitter glue and just made tiny little dots everywhere so it looks like fairy dust. I'm going to move those around. I seem to like to do that on these because these all have the little glitter glue dots on them. This whole section is like that with the glittery bits. This is back to just layering. So I've got a black mat, a white mat, a piece of painty paper, a piece of scrapbook paper, an ephemera butterfly. I made the flower. I've added ribbon around just the white mat. You can wrap it around so you don't have the raw edges of the ribbon, and it's taped on the back of the white mat. And then I added the sentiment. There's another one just made with some, it looks like black mat, white mat, a piece of tea-dyed paper, piece of scrapbook paper, and these are just some random ephemera I had. And there's another piece that's painty paper that I did with my gel plate. And this whole thing, these were all the encouragement cards. I need to try to mail out more cards. But these are in this box because these are all cards that I have mailed. I need to send a congratulation card to my sister who just got her 20-year pin at the University of South Carolina for 20 years of teaching advanced mathematics. I've got simple hellos. I have thank yous. I have love and Valentine's, encouragement, Christmas, and birthday. It looks like I only have one birthday card, so I guess I should focus on birthday cards. So that's an idea for your paper scraps. So I'm going to set the paper scrap option aside. And again, if you want to participate with Kaylee at Home Tea Knits, she used to be Shadows at Midnight, but she ran into a problem with getting paid. And now she's trying to build up a whole new channel. So if you haven't gone over to Home Tea Knits and subscribed to Kaylee yet, I wish you would. She's got an awesome way of doing her videos, and she's so sweet and so easy to listen to. I love to get a cup of tea and just hang out with her for a while. Now, I don't really have a scrappy project to show, but I'll just show what she's talking about when she says to use your random bits. This is just a crochet bag I keep hanging here. So when I'm done with a project, I put all the little balls in it like this. And she wants you to use all the little random balls. And I've got some cotton in here. And then some acrylic and some, I don't know, random fancy yarns. But she wants you to use these up in a project. And I left the link to her channel. Hi, Barbara Clark. If you want to participate, she's doing a small giveaway for those that participate. She's going to draw a winner or pick a winner. I don't know how she's going to do it, but she talks about it in the video I've shared below in the description box. And she has knitted the cutest tiny little rabbit. He looks to be about that long. It is the cutest thing. And I think she's going to put some of her stitch markers in with it. I think that was one of the items. She hand makes her stitch markers. They are adorable, like little slices of cake on a marker that she's made with polymer clay. So those are some small bits. Now I have scraps because, hang on, I have an old HP box from printer paper, and this is just all the little end cuts. This is from when I was doing my hexagon blanket, and it's got all kinds of just tiny little bits, and you're probably going, what on earth? Are you crazy? What are you going to do with that? You could use this to stuff a stuffed animal. If you were sewing a stuffed animal, this would make great filler. My idea was I was going to do this is going to sound crazy. I want to do a tree of life on a piece of burlap and couch all this yarn down to make the tree dimensional. So I'm going to couch this yarn down, and I want my tree to be all the different colors, including skin tone colors. So that's why I've got the browns and blacks and tans and white, and all the rainbow of skin tones is in here, as well as green and just rainbow colors. There's just all kinds of yarn in here. And that's my idea, is why I was holding on to all of this, is to do a project on burlap. So that's a project that I'll probably not do on camera because it'll be more artistically done than what I would like to do in front of you guys. It's like paper piecing for me. That's something else you can use with your scraps. If you get your scraps together, you can tear them and use them to do paper piece. Like I just did Greg the cat He's completely paper pieced. I had actually had to go and create the painty papers for him. But if you just have a bunch of yellows, just think about it. You could even stamp out a butterfly and then just fill it in with your tiny little pieces of ripped paper. I made a card of Kathy's cat to go with it. I haven't gotten this in the mail. I need to get it in the mail. That's Greg the cat, and I think I did pretty good catching his likeness. So that's something else you can do with your paper scraps. We've done paper, we've done yarn. Now, we're going to talk about fabric scraps. This bag was created on my channel. Occasionally, we'll do a prompt game on fabric. So this was like a 1 yard by 44-inch wide piece of fabric or thereabouts. I don't remember exactly. But we did a prompt game on this, which we have painted on it. We have splattered on it. We have drawn circles on it. We have added hearts on it. We did all kinds of things all over it. And then I came back and I did all the hand embroidery you see, all of the little fly stitches or feather stitches on here. There's some back stitching where I did the spirals. I also have a small stencil that I can do lettering with, just write out words. And I just drew it on here with a pencil and then embroidered around it. So it says love there and dream there. I have also added buttons and beadwork. And there's charms hanging here and there. Another way to use your scraps, and this one was made by Ann Lahr, is you can make your own little brooches or badges. So Ann Lahr made that one. I made this one here with scraps of felt and fabric. And this was done by Allie Cousins, which we lost Allie a while back. And she used thread scraps. This is all her cutting off from tail ends, and she just wadded them up there. And I think they're just glued on there or maybe stitched on. I'm not sure, but she just formed a heart out of all of her thread tails. If you got bits of lace, you could add those on. I just wanted to throw ideas out. I have hung charms with safety pins, just random charms. Again, let's see, what else did I do on here? Oh, we made dots with the dowel. We did the black dots with the dowel. And we used fabric paint and ink tints. I colored the hearts on here in with ink tints and then embroidered around each one. So this was a project. And by making this bag, well, let me do this. Let me open this up. This is a rice bag. I learned to make this from K3N cloth tails. I didn't do very good on my rope, and we need to redo the rope because I don't think I did it right. But in here, I have some hearts cut out from scraps. I've got seed beads and some thread there. And I just stuffed little things in here. Some threads, some lace. But then the rest of this is just the tail ends of lace. And a lot of this is the leftover fabrics from Project Dress-A-Girl, where I made a bunch of dresses last year. I need to get started on this year's dresses. But then I went through this bag before I came on with you guys. And I'm going to put these back in here, so clean as you go. I found the scraps from making this bag out of the prompt game fabric that we created together. And then this morning, I took those scraps and I went ahead and I cut them out, okay? And then sewed them back together. And then I've made a quilt sandwich out of them. And I ended up with a mug rug, which is big enough so your mug can fit on one end and the other. What you're seeing here is just some fabric that was also in that rice bag. This is what I made with my leftovers from this. So even your art paper or fabric that you make and create yourself like this, save your scraps because you can make something smaller. This is meant to be a mug rug, but you could easily turn it into a needle book, fold it in half, put you a little button on one side and maybe a little bit of elastic to pull over, and then sew some either batting or felt pages in it. That way you can put your needles in it. So it could be a needle book, or it could be a small journal or notepad to carry with you. And this was just bias tape left over from another project. So this is really using a bunch of scraps up in a whole bunch of different ways. So let me say hi. Let's see. I said hi to Shannon, Joyce, Barbara Clark, Deb. Hey, Deb. Shannon and Steph. Hey. So I went through and I've also gone ahead and I've pulled out the strips that were in there that are kind of already, straight strips, because I'm thinking either, I can't remember her channel now. It's Robin. I think her name's Robin. She's been making fabric postcards and she sells them in her Etsy shop. So I got these straight pieces out thinking I could make some postcards with these. And if you wanted to, you could take like, I have these larger ones. You can, make it smaller. But these are just index cards. So say you take this to your sewing machine and you could just sew straight onto this. And then all you would have to do is fill your information on in the back. Keep in mind, though, that if you sew straight to the card right away, you'll have thread marks. So you might end up having to, put something on the back to put your address on. But you could maybe set this butterfly here and then maybe come in and put this one face down on it and sew a 1/4 inch along here. Then you would open this up. So this would be, the raw edges would be hidden underneath. And then you could come on and you could put a piece here and then fold it back and then put a piece that comes down and stops here. And then you put a piece here. You always want to come to the edges if you don't want any. That's it. Thank you, Deb. RS Island Crafts. She makes some awesome stuff over there. I love watching her on Wednesday, seeing what she's been up to. She's a busy girl. But you could cover the whole thing. But what I was saying is when you put each strip down and you open it up, try to find the next strip so that it goes from end to end here. You don't want to fall short because then you'll have a raw edge exposed. So if I sewed that down and it folded back, see, this would all be smooth. So I was thinking of doing that, or you can just skip the paper altogether if you don't want to sew that on your machine. Some people don't like to sew paper on their machines, but as long as you are cleaning between projects, take your vacuum over there and suck it out. Don't use canned air because it'll just blow all that crap farther into your machine, and that's not good. That's not good at all. You could do the same thing. You could actually set it down like this, and you can see that this looks like it would be too short, but you got to think about this is going to overlap a 1/4 inch on both sides of it. And see, that brings it down to just about right. And then you would go to this side, but I would do like this, and then I would cut that away up there. And then I'd put a piece here and just build it up. So like if I wanted to do, this is like building a log cabin block. You put the two together in the middle, and then you pick a direction of which you want to work. Usually you go around it like a clock around. So we've got this here. If I added that to the top, then I went here, we'd cut this off and we'd find something that's would come all the way across here. And see, I've pulled out all these scraps. So we could come all the way across like that. And this would be cut off here. Then you've got to find a piece that's long enough to go all the way up there. So you would dig through your pile, and they don't all have to be the same width to end up with a nice square. See, that's too short. But see, takes some time to play. This is the part that's just fun to play. So that would go like that. And you could just keep building and building as long as you've got strips long enough to reach from one end to the other. Welcome, Lynn and Journals. Hello. Glad to have you here. So I thought I would put like all the oranges together, all the greens and blues together, and that kind of thing, and see what I have. So these reds and oranges, I'm going to put those together. And this is just another way to use scraps. So if you're a quilter, I know you have scraps. I know you do. How do you think I got most of these? Well, most of these came from sewing little girl dresses, but you know what I mean, Jelly Bean. I'm going to keep the greens and the blues separate. I don't have a lot of purples. That was from Project Dress a Girl. This is another blue. That'll go with the reds. More blues. So you can see just from my scraps. Now, you could also make other projects with these if you don't want to do postcards, if you don't want to make your own little brooches. You could actually make cards out of your fabric scraps. There are so many ways to use your scraps. And I think Kaylee's whole idea is we'd be keeping things out of the landfills. Oh, you can't stay long. You only have 43%. That's okay. You'll have the replay. And I do know that Kaylee mentioned using even your smallest of small scraps. And if you guys haven't watched Janet Nash, she uses what does she call them? Scripts and scraps. Janet Nash is the queen of scripts and scraps. She'll take her little, what do they call them? Stitchers call them orts, all those little bits like your thread tails, my yarn that I have that I've been saving. She saves all of those, and then you just kind of put them on a base fabric, like just a piece of muslin, and you just smush all of your tiny little bits all over it. Then you lay a piece of netting, tulle on top of that, and then she just stitches all over that. And then she just goes and she cuts out shapes. Most of the time it's hearts, but that's the thing Janet and I like to do. Hearts of love, where you just leave them for someone to find, or if somebody's lost a family member or pet, you can send them a heart of love to let them know you're thinking of them. If you leave them, where people can find that are just out on a walk, maybe they've gone for a mental health break, finding one of those little hearts has got to be a joy. It would bring me joy. So yeah, I've got some grays here that I could do something with. I think these were actually a purchase from the dollar store. And I guess I'll put that with blue. It's hard to tell what it actually reads. But see, I'm sorting these by color family because I was thinking I could do a project with some of these here. Another big piece of blue. This is lavender. See, this lavender would be a pretty card. We could make a card together real quick with the lavender bits. Does that read more blue or green? I'm thinking green. This is blue, United States Navy. And the reason I have a piece of that is because my husband and my son were both sailors. Put that there because it's got pinkish in it. And if I make a fabric card, I could go over to my sewing machine and put a decorative stitches on it. Yes, I pre-wash everything I use. I do. The first thing I do when I come in the house is if it's got a cut edge, I run it through my serger and then I pre-wash it, but absolutely no fabric softener. Never put fabric softener in when you're pre-washing your fabric. It leaves a coating that retards the ability of any iron-on product like interfacing. And that type of thing. So I just wash it just with the soap. I wash it exactly as I would if it was a made up garment. So cotton, I would wash, warm water. I just wash it as I would any other thing I do. So yes, I do pre-wash everything. I also want to remove any finishing oils. By pre-washing, I also want to pre-shrink anything that could possibly shrink, because if I'm sewing a garment especially, I definitely don't want it to shrink after I've put hours into making something. So yes, I do pre-wash. I pre-wash everything, even the quilt fabrics. Some people don't like to do that, but I do it. Some people, I think the reason they don't like to pre-wash the quilt fabrics, some people, is they like that kind of shrunk down wrinkle effect you get when the cotton fabric draws in after you've washed it. Do y'all know how many subs this Tanya has? Tanya who? I've missed something, Lynn. I'm sorry. Lynn's recommending creative journaling. Highly recommend Pretty in Pink. I've not seen her. I'll have to look her up. Is her channel Pretty in Pink? I don't think I have a mod here right now that can go get me a link. I'll look it up and see if I can remember to put it in the description. Let me grab a pen real quick. I'll see if I can find her channel. Oh dear, I'm knocking things down. Pretty in Pink. My channel, I've kind of gotten away from doing journals because I would rather sew or crochet or knit, that kind of thing. So there we go. We got these all sorted kind of by color, so I can do some projects with these. These are not really scrappy scraps. These are just leftovers that were big enough for me to turn into other quilt projects. Like, see this piece, I could make another mug rug and it would be a wonderful background. So I could do another and do a blue mug rug and use this as the back. So I might put those all together. But right now, I want to kind of combine the two with you all here. I only have like 20 minutes left here. I was thinking I could make a card out of this. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I have a card base already made. And you guys know, if you've been around any time, I love everything on a black mat. So let me grab a black piece of paper. This is really not the kind of paper I like to use. I don't know where that piece of black paper came from. Let's see. Will this be big enough for a mat? Oh, look at that. So I just need to cut this down to 5 1/4. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I cut this at 5 1/4. I wish I had it set up in a way that I could like switch to a camera over at my, yeah, Tanya McGuire has over 6,000 subbies. So I could put that as my mat, and then we can build a card up with these. So like this is the perfect size. I mean, I could trim that some more if we wanted to add some interest. We could do this. I have to come over here to get fabric scissors. Oh. These scissor charms are something that Tanya makes. I bought these from Tanya. So you could use your pinking shears. And see, this is really what I think Kaylee had in mind, is to use those little bits up too. So I might start me a jar of little tiny bits like that I could use like Janet Nash does. All right, so we could put that on there now, like so. We'll save those. And let me see. I should have grabbed the other scissors too. I just don't like to have my fabric shears on this table because it's real tempting for everybody else in the house to walk by and snag my fabric scissors. Somebody's mowing or using a leaf blower or something outside. Sorry, I'm going quiet while I'm cutting pieces out here. Pull this over here. Could wrap that to the back. And then I could put a little sentiment on there. Just one of my stickers or something. So if you guys don't mind holding on, I'll stitch all these down onto my black piece of paper. I can turn you so you guys can see me over there. So you don't think I've totally abandoned you, but that's kind of my sewing corner over there. So let me go over here and just sew this down real quick. I'm going to turn this lamp on so I can see a little better. Hopefully it won't wash you guys out. So I'm going to put the base fabric down first. And I'm just going to stitch it, kind of center it up. this on here next. And I'm going to change it to a zigzag. Whoops. Okay. All right, I'm going to come back over to you guys. This is not going to be a perfect card because I'm doing it quickly. All right. See, I didn't get it straight, but I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm not going to cut the fabric short either. All right, this. Let's cut it shorter. I don't need that much. When you use your scraps, you create more scraps. It's inevitable. Hi, Howard. What did I do with that other tape? This part. I have to hide this because the cats think it's a challenge to chew on the tape that's on the kitty cat dispenser. So if I wrap this to the back of this, put some tape there, hold that down. Don't pull on it too hard, you might pull it out of the tape, but we'll wrap it around here. Got way too big a piece, but it's all right. It's going to be hidden anyway. All right, get some double-sided tape. I could sew it on there, but I'd rather just stay right here with you guys. Oh, hi, Beth. So again, I've put Kaylee's channel down below, her new channel. She's trying to get to 1,000 subbies. She's like at 600 and something right now. She had worked so hard to get her other Shadows at Midnight up to the 1,000 plus. And she shares her thrifty treasures, and she shares living on a budget with a young family, and walks with her little ones, and home educating, and she just shares a bunch of her life and things she's doing. She knits, and she's learning to crochet. Her grandpa knits. Her grandfather knits. Not knits. He crochets. She knits. And he'll just get on a roll, and he'll crochet up a bunch of squares, and then she'll take them and turn them into something else. She only has like 3 shorts. Shorts do help people find your channel. If you're not doing shorts, I would highly recommend it. If you want to see your channel start growing again, shorts really do help, because I think we all do it. We lay in bed at night and we're scrolling through shorts or reels all the time. And I don't usually pull all my tape off at once, but I'm doing it today. Don't ask me why. I'm just doing it today. And I forgot to plug in my computer, so hopefully I'm not going to lose you guys when I'm this close to having this done. So far, so good. Scott said he thinks Greg leaves something playing on his computer out in the bonus room, and that's why I lose connection. All right, I'm going to stick this down here and hope it's going to be pretty even. Even Steven. All right, so there's that. Oops. Let me grab. I think I have some paper flowers. We could add a paper flower to the front of this. I think I have some already made. That's something else you can make with your scraps. If I can find them. Let's see what I've got that's kind of purple. Oh, I have the flowers I made from the dryer sheets years ago, where you just cut circles and then you fringe it. That doesn't really go though. Let's see, what else do I have? Got some bought ones that kind of match. Let's see here. Let's see. This little pink one might look okay. Whoops. It's sticky. Let's see. Or this one. Wish I had a purple one. That's got some purple on it. Let's use that one. All right. Okay, and I need some blue. So I think I need to do a package up before I forget. Oh, I guess I should look and see what sentiment I have real quick. Look out, Tippy. I'm still learning where I've put things, so give me just a minute. I'm wondering what I did with those. You want to go out, buddy? Yep. Neighbors are using a string trimmer and a blower. Can't possibly go out. It's dangerous. What did I do with all my Oh, I remember now. Shoved them under here. When you have to move things around and then find new locations for things, makes it hard sometimes. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. The black background could be nice. Let's see. Nope, nope, go on. Let's do positive thoughts. All right. Whoops. How do I get glue all over myself? I need need to find my list of the folks I was going to send the little canvases to, because I came across the little canvas. I need to send it to the next person on my list, and I can't find my list. All right. All right. It's almost 2:30, and I like to sign off by then. And I put this on here. And so now I have another encouraging card here. All right. So that was made with scraps. So I made a card using fabric scraps. And I also have made a mug rug with fabric scraps. So you can cross your talents or hobbies. So you could even make a card with a section of knitting if you used a fine enough yarn to where it, worked up nice and smooth. Wouldn't that be a pretty card with just a block of knitting on it? I think it would be. Crochet is a bit chunky, but knitting would lay nice and flat, and you could make some pretty cards. So those are two things you can do with scraps. I'm sure that Kaylee is going to share some ideas, because this is a whole make-along, I think is what she called it. And I did put the hashtag down below, a link to Kaylee's channel if you want to play along. I do know that when you get your project done, you need to email it to her. So you'll have to go to that video to get her email address. And when you send her a picture of your item, she asks that you give her permission in writing to use that photo. So she doesn't want anybody saying that, you used my photo without my permission. So she's trying to ward that off. And yeah, I have made little hearts with crochet cotton thread. They're easy to make, and they turn out really cute. I don't have one in here. I'd show you. Maybe that's something I'll do in a video so you guys can see what it looks like. So if you wanted to, you could make a card and a mug rug, and then you could send it to somebody and, send them an encouraging card and a little gift, because this would mail. It might be a little thick, but if you put it in a big envelope, that would mail nice. Like so. All right. I'm going to go, and I will see if I can find the channel that Lynn was talking about. And I think those are the pretty in pink. All right. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Hopefully next Monday, I'll be up to going live. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.